Alright, YouTube. Welcome to another KTM 690 MotoVlog. Today I've got a little story for you. And my story is about KTM 690 buyer's remorse. Yep, you heard it right. KTM 690 buyer's remorse. Alright, this seems to be something that happens to quite a few people that buy a KTM 690. And I think what happens is people buy the 690 expecting something different. Look at the sunset. Turn off my ABS. So people buy the 690 expecting something a little different. They are expecting a unicorn. And I think it is a unicorn. In my case, I'm calling it buyer's remorse, for lack of a better term, right? That was my clickbait. What I think it really is it's just people are expecting maybe a little bit too much from the 690. In my case, I very carefully selected the 690 because I was going to do these long distance commutes for mountain running, and I needed that 150-mile range that I wouldn't get from a 500 EXC. And what ended up happening is the 690 is such a capable off-road machine that I kind of started to push the limits of, you know, what its capabilities are. This is really busy up here tonight. So that said, I had a little bit of this remorse, we'll call it. And you know, it's like I said, it's a totally capable off-road machine, but I think after I rode it a little bit off-road, I was like, God damn, I should have listened to those guys. I should have bought a 500 EXC. But no, that's not correct. I should not have bought a 500 EXC. And I'll tell you why. Once again, I needed the long distance. I needed the long distance capabilities of the 690. Man, everybody going the wrong way tonight. And I also needed the luggage carrying capabilities of the 690. I'm going to pull over here real quick so you can see the sunset before it goes down. I don't know if this will turn out in the video, so I'm not going to spend too much time, but I just wanted you to see a Hawaiian sunset. Actually, I'm going to roll down here so we get some of these trees out of the way. So yeah, I needed the luggage carrying capabilities of the 692. When I go up into those runs, you know, there's no services and stuff. So I end up taking a whole lot of water and food and all these things because they're, you know, 6-hour outings. 3 hours of that's 3 hours of that is commuting, right? Popping a little wheelie for you. Rah, 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 rah. So I needed to carry a decent amount of stuff, and I guess while the 500 EXC can do that, the 690 does it a whole lot better, and it has better range. That way I don't have to pack gas. Or if I do have to pack gas, it's very little. And so yeah, so what it was is I wasn't quite scratching the itch that I had for the off-road. You know, I mean, obviously you can see right now I'm just putting around in this 690 just bad to the bone. This is a peg scraper here. See if I can get it scraping. Yeah, we didn't quite scrape that time. I'm not wearing any gear, so I don't want to get too bonkers. But anyway, I promised myself, because this was my third motorcycle in a matter of like 2 or 3 months, right? I had a 390 Duke, which didn't have the range, and then I bought the KLR, and that, of course, definitely has the range, but it was going to kill me off-road because it's, while the 690 and the KLR 650 kind of go to the same places, the 690 gets there 5 times as fast. Not that the KLR is a bad machine, it's just the machine that you do 10 miles an hour on off-road. And, shit, where was I? So anyway, I needed that luggage carrying capacity, I needed the range. And so I'm like, okay, making myself a promise that I am not going to sell the 690 until I get 5,000 miles on it. I can't, number one, I can't afford another bike, right? Like, it's not like I got money. It's not like I'm just out there, trust fund, baby. Here, I'm going to go buy a bunch of frickin' $10,000 KTMs every other day and, you know, deck them out with thousands of dollars in parts. No, that's, yeah, I work a lot. I'm working 13 days straight. You know, well, we'll call it a week. It's a long week. But you know, I can't afford that. It's not like I make big bucks or anything. So anyway, I'm gonna keep the 690 5,000 miles, whether I like it or not. So that's when I started to look at used dirt bikes and maybe getting a really cheap used truck. And if you go back to my other 200 XC versus 350 EXC vlog, I'll link to that. That was the dilemma that I was having there a little bit, and I won't beat that horse. But anyway, what ended up happening, and you can hear in my first few like reviews of the 690, you can hear a little bit of that 690's remorse, call it, in my voice. So after kind of like I had to sit on the thing for 2,000 miles and then kind of 3,000 miles, I'm going to tell you right now what happens is you start accepting the 690 for what it is, a big enduro bike. And you can really, really appreciate its capabilities when you accept it for that. And what happened is I really started to kind of fall in love with this motorcycle. I've never owned a motorcycle like this before. I've never owned like a big enduro. It's just motocross bikes and street bikes. And so this was a niche that I've never been in before. And you know, it's cool. You know, I just had to learn what it was all about. You know, when I ride my 350 EXC on the street, it's not nearly as nice as experience as this. And then when you're talking about high-speed stuff, there's some turkeys. When you're talking about high-speed stuff on the two bikes, like the weight of the 690 on the street makes it handle so much better than that 350 EXC on the street. Maybe if you were racing supermoto or something like that, that really light agile 350 would be cool on in a street type situation. But you know, commuting like this in the mountains, and you know, we're only doing 45 miles an hour right now, but when you start hitting those 60, 70, 80, 90 mile an hour speeds, I can't imagine that, you know, the 500 EXE is obviously better than the 350 on the street, but I can't imagine that the 500 EXE has any sort of street capability that this 690 does. And then, you know, it comes with the maintenance intervals of the 500 and stuff too, which really aren't that bad. I think people kind of blow that way out of proportion, but they are a little bit higher maintenance machine. And then, you know, on the EXEs, you're not getting the cush hub and a few things like that, like you do in the 690, to take some of the beating out of the bike for road miles. And so, you know, if you've bought a 690 and you're kind of feeling slightly remorseful about it, I would encourage you to not jump off of it and replace it until you've ridden some miles on it and you can kind of appreciate it for what it is. And in my case, I think I started to appreciate it a little bit more when I did give myself permission to buy the dirt bike, because then I wasn't feeling like, the dirt bike being my 350 EXE, I wasn't feeling like that I was gonna have to push this thing around in aggressive off-road situations where my buddies would be riding these, you know, 250s and 450s and all these sorts of things, and I'm working twice as kind of hard to keep up with them at high speeds. Not that it matters. Generally a better rider than most of them, but anyway, it's nice that, you know, I can get a little bit aggressive. I don't really like dumping the 690 over the fuel tank and these things that I've all mentioned in the past. It just, things bend easier on it. Things, the parts, the fenders and stuff are, you know, more expensive on it. I can't remember what the rear fender is on this 690, but I want to feel like maybe it's like an $80 retail, where I just bought a fender for my EXE the other day and it was like 23 bucks or something. So I'm going to go back to like practicing some slow-mo wheelies and all that sort of stuff, but I'm not going to do it on this bike because all the ground around here is hard. And if I dump this thing over, I'm going to blow off a rear fender. I might, you know, gouge up the gas tank in the back, and I might get hurt more if the thing lands on me. So anyway, I've got a dirt bike to do all that crap now. So now the 690 is in its true role for me, which is commuting. It's my car, right? So I take it to Costco and get my groceries with the big bags on it, and I do my long distance runs. And then if I'm out on one of those runs and I see a cool trail, you know, it's a pretty badass bike. I can, you know, I can cruise that trail. I can clip it pretty good. Hopefully the wind noise isn't killing you now that I've got it up to around 60. But I can, you know, cruise these cool roads at a pretty decent clip and have some fun on them. And then if it's somewhere worth riding again, I just go home and get the 350, and then we'll just go hammer some motos out on it and have a whole crap load of fun. But yeah, this thing's probably getting wind noise at this point, but 690 buyer's remorse, man. That's for people that haven't owned them long enough. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. Let's play on it here for a second. I'll shut up and we'll just do some riding. Yeehaw! So anyway, guys, hopefully there's a few people out there that get buyer's remorse. because that means that some of you are going to get a cheaper 690. And then for those of you that that are watching these videos and subscribe to my channel and are falling in love with the 690, well, we're going to fall in love together. And anyway, that's all I had today for my little 690 Remorse. And let me know if you guys like my moto vlogs. I know some of you really do. I don't know the other, I don't know, hundreds of subscribers do, but let me know what you think, and if you've owned a 690 and gotten rid of it and now you wished you hadn't, or whatever. Let me know your thoughts. I like replying to comments on YouTube. Hey, you guys have an awesome night, and hang loose from Hawaii, man.